So, the last bit of animation that we are going to do will be on the birds that we have in our painting here. So, again, I've just exported these out with their own alpha as shown earlier. And my goal is to just make them slightly move about to hopefully add to, again, the feeling of life that we are trying to achieve here. So just like before, let's have a look at this. We have our image, and I have pre-multed it so that I see just the birds. And let me just create a shuffle copy node. And here, whoops, let's first create our noise. And let's have a look. Let's maybe reduce this to half. And maybe let's just go into the transform panel and let's skew it a bit maybe. And let's rotate it a little bit. Alright. And we'll just keyframe this at 0. And here let's do 80. Okay. And let's just add a reformat here. Let's grab one of our old ones. Whoops, that's actually not what I want. I want one from here. Okay. And let's plug this in. And in our shuffle copy, let's go to other layers and forward. And let's just send these from here to here. Okay. And let's create a night distort. Select our forwards channel. And maybe let's put this to 60. Let's just have a look. And I'm not expecting this to be amazing. This is going to be a little bit buggy and not all of it will work well, but again we'll just pick little pieces that look good and then change the animation and choose other pieces of this that look good. Okay, so let's try to make this noise a little bit bigger. And let's transform it maybe slightly less. Let's see. Okay. So up close it doesn't look that great, but if we zoom out to here, I think we are able to get away with a lot of the ones in the background. So let's have a look at maybe these. Okay, so this is a nice example of one that appears to fly, and because of the distortion it looks like the wings are moving, so we kind of like stuff like this, right? For example, on the other hand, this one looks like it is making the movements of flight, but is staying in one spot, so we can fix that in a different way later. But for now, let's just say that we like some of these. So let's create a roto. And let's just copy this reformat and plug this roto into it. And we'll connect it as a mask to the eye distort. And let's just say my overlay is off, so let's just turn it back on here. Okay, So let's say we like the movement of these, and this is a quick demonstration, and you will have to spend a bit more time than what I'm doing here, but it's still quite quick as a technique overall. Okay, so we have these animated, and let's also maybe select this bunch as well. Not really picking the best ones or anything, I'm just kind of roughly showing how I'm doing it. And the whole time I'm trying to look at these, see which ones look like they're flying. For example, these two seem like they're kind of moving generally in the right direction. When they're, this big on the screen, you can get away with quite a lot. So I'm kind of happy with those. But just let's look. Okay, let's actually expand this a little bit. And I just want to look at these two just to show how I would be dealing with these birds more near the foreground. So let's just see. Okay, I quite like both of their movements. It looks like they're kind of flying, if we look. So let's just translate them a little bit. So what we'll do is create a transform mask node. And let's move the pivot here. And we'll just roto both of these. And let's set the key on the translation. And maybe the scale. And here, oh, oops, I created my Bezier in the wrong thing. Let me just delete that, and I'll remake it as a new one. We'll plug this in here. Okay. Let's see. Let's reduce the scale slightly. So now, with the combination of that little bit of noise, as well as... okay, what's this problem? We have a little glitch here. What was this here previously? Oh, it was. My bad. Let's see what the problem was. And these are the kind of little problems that you can run into, it seems. Okay, so these two teleport a little bit. Okay, so the problem is in one of my rotos here. I accidentally have a stray keyframe. So this kind of happens sometimes when you don't mean to create an animation with your roto, but you do. So you can just select it here and delete it. And so now we just have this. And if we look here now, we have a combination of this transformation and the distortion, and it kind of looks like they are flying. And we can make the animation a little bit more tweaked. And this is manual work and isn't perfectly procedural, but it doesn't take that long to create some transformations, some eye distorts, and just select areas where you like the effect and deselect the areas where you don't like the effect. Let me just import my finished one. And exactly the same techniques, just done several times. Oh, whoops. It didn't load the whole sequence. Okay. So as you can see, I've animated some of the main ones, and then a lot of the others in the background are just based on noise. But the noise distortion combined with a little bit of animation in the foreground ones actually creates a kind of convincing effect of these birds, and it's just a quick cheat for doing these things instead of setting up a long-winded 3D system that will be better, but if you are just a solo artist and you don't have much time or resources, then this is a great way of doing this as well. So I believe this finishes our animation in Nuke. I think we have now animated everything there is to be done. So now let's start having a look at setting up our render passes in Clarice and overpainting frame 1 in Photoshop as well. Cool.